Hey guys, Lord Wolf 99 back again with another video and back again with another Brainless Believers. And as always, we have my partner, my co-author, I guess, the one, the only.
Not that type of partner. I don't
No.
want your fans. What's it called? Where they get like two people they really like and start making sex stories about fan fictions.
Yeah.
Don't want no fan fictions.
Oh, good. I could see them like finding our old channel slipshod and using those like bitmojis we created. Oh Christ! What a brilliant way to start a video. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another Brainless Believers. This is Terrible Tales Part 2. This is a me episode. So unfortunately the gameplay in the background isn't exactly riveting because I need to be focused on telling the stories, so I'm not going to be driving around or anything. But, you know, plug it in, put your headphones in, whatever, and just have us on in the background, you know? Let us talk and give you some ASMR. Maybe that's the sort of channel I should become, an ASMR channel.
I don't think so. Also, my YouTube just started playing from my phone. I don't know if you heard something.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard something, and I was like, is this bitch really watching YouTube whilst we're trying to record?
No, it's because I forget. So YouTube, what's it called? YouTube Plus or whatever it is.
Mm.
So when you close your phone down, it still carries on playing, and I'm still getting used to that happening.
Christ. Fucking noob. Anyway, intro's out of the way, guys. We've already wasted like 2 minutes of our runtime. So we might as well get into it. This is Terrible Tales Part 2. I'm using the same website that I used for Part 1. And it's just a continuation of those short stories that we were reading last time. We'll do it the same again, where we have the scareability thing. I don't know if you remember that, Adam. It was like a week ago.
I remember that we ranked on 3 different things: scareability,
interesting, and believability.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna get my.
Games, right?
It is, yeah, and then a total of 30. Yeah. So, are we ready for the first story?
Mm-hmm.
And as last time, guys, there will be a tally of the scores after each story, just so that you are aware. In case you can't keep up with us, that is to say, which, I mean, you should be able to. It's not exactly rocket science, but by the by. Okay, so the first story we have for the evening is The Perfect Plan by Hunt Frog. Okay. On Monday, I came up with a perfect plan. No one even knew we were friends. On Tuesday, he stole the gun from his dad. On Wednesday, we decided to make our move during the following day's pep rally. On Thursday, while the entire school was in the gym, we waited just outside the doors. I was to use the gun on whoever walked out first. Then he would take the gun and go into the gym blasting. I walked up to Mr. Quinn, the guidance counsellor, and shot him in the face 3 times. He fell back into the gym, dead. The shots were deafening. We heard screams in the auditorium. No one could see us yet. I handed him the gun and whispered, "Your turn." He ran into the gym and started firing. I followed a moment after. He hadn't hit anyone yet. Kids were scrambling and hiding. It was mayhem. I ran up behind him and tackled him. We struggled. I wrenched the gun out of his hands, turned it on him, and killed him. I closed his mouth forever. On Friday, I was anointed a hero. It was indeed the perfect plan.
And that's just an awful story. That's just,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not even like,
Yeah.
I was expecting a big thing.
That was pretty shit, to be honest. I'm not even.
I mean, if you start low, then you know you are.
You can only go up, right? I mean, judging by last week's stories, I really don't think that might be true. 2 weeks ago for you guys listening, but yeah. Um, thoughts on that one, Adam?
What was it? Scareability was a 1.
Oh, okay.
Believability.
Going straight for that. Yep.
Yeah, I don't even want to discuss this story because it's bollocks. Like, it's just shit.
Yeah.
So scareability 1, believability 1.
Right.
Like, and then what was the other one? Interest 1.
Right, so that gives you a grand total of 3 for this story.
You're really telling me that he'd get away with that? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it.
No, yeah, no, good point. Good point. Myself, I gave Scareability a 1 because it wasn't scary. Probably more so because we don't live in America, so that shit's just not scary to us. I was gonna say we point and laugh, but that sounds a bit crude.
We don't, but we're in shock that people are allowed to carry around guns.
Yeah, we're just
it's
America,
still
you're
something
fucked.
that is it's like what?
Literally.
It's crazy.
Interesting, I give it a 1 because it's not original at all and it's just not interesting. But believability, I actually gave a 3 because Americans are psychos and absolute weirdos, and I could see someone coming up with this in their head and thinking this is a great idea. So yeah, I gave believability a 3 for that. So that
I don't know if I should be scared or not.
Right. Well, that gives the perfect plan an 8 out of 30. So a pretty weak start, to be honest. I don't know. Quite disappointed with the first story, to be honest with you. But, by the by, are you ready for the next story?
If it's anything like that one, no.
Oh, let's just jump straight into it. Warrior of God by KMA Pock. If God exists, why is there so much evil in the world? It's a common question, but it is misplaced. All things must have balance. Light and dark, good and evil, sound and silence. Without one, the other cannot exist. So if that's true, then God does nothing to fight evil. That might be a follow-up question. Of course he fights evil, relentlessly. I am D'Artagnan, one of his most holy and righteous angels. I roam the earth, disposing of evil wherever I find it. I kill the monsters you don't ever want to know about. I crush them completely so you can sleep at night. You humans have no idea how many of you live because of the work I do. But what about Stalin, Hitler, Ted Bundy, Jack the Ripper? Well, those are the minor ones I had to let live, for balance. The ones I destroy are too horrible and vile to survive. What's funny is while I would wager you never have heard the name D'Artagnan in any religious texts, I bet you have heard of me. Americans, for example, have their own name for me. Sudden Infant Death Syndrome.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Did I hear that right?
You definitely did, yeah.
Sudden infant
Yeah, death syndrome.
death, as in as in dead, or death with an F.
No, death as in dead.
Right.
As in this guy kills kids before they can raise hell.
Is that the end of the story?
Yeah, that's the end of the story.
I love that line of yeah, I've allowed to start.
Started.
But the people
You know,
I
for balance.
are far, like, as if it was like, Hitler was awful, but it wasn't too bad. You know what I mean? Like,
just imagine what that one baby could have done, you know, if I'd have let him live, you know? Jeez.
Yeah.
You guys don't know how lucky you've got it. You know, I
It's
think
like,
the Jews would disagree with him, and like all of the
I
Russians
mean, I'm
that
pretty sure
Stalin
anyone
killed.
would
Well, yeah, anybody
disagree with him,
would.
right?
No, but yeah, but just as an example.
Not just the Jewish community, but pretty much anyone would go, yeah, this is pretty. As if it's something honourable. Oh, I didn't kill Hitler, you know. But I do a lot of, like, oh well, that's good then. And it's a bit of a massive gap. Like, hang on a minute, like. You used Stalin and Hitler in the same thing as Jack the Ripper, who killed about 4 women. Like someone who created mass genocide and like tortured people and changed the world forever, compared to Jack the Ripper, who is more of a folklore than anything else. Like, and Ted Bundy, who like again was an awful, evil man, but killed like a minute, minuscule amount of people in comparison to what Stalin and Hitler did. So, like, I question this angel's kind of, like, and also, during all this killing, he has time to go on Reddit.
It's just like, hey guys. Wait, what's his name? Hey guys, it's D'Artagnan here. Just to let you know, I could have killed these guys, but balance, right? Those people had to die. You see, it was God's will. I had no control over that. It was just God's will, you know.
God, you're not doing much for fucking Christianity there. If you're going, God told me to keep Hitler alive. You know what I mean? No one's gonna go. Do you know what? I'm religious now.
Yeah. You can't think of anything that would convert people the other way. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, scores.
I mean, scarability. I mean, I'm gonna go 2.
All right. Okay.
Because it was fucking scary, the fact that someone thought this would be a good idea to write.
Oh, brilliant.
Interesting. The actual my brain coming up with the idea like of what the story could be was far more interesting. So I'm going to go 2 for interesting.
Right. Okay.
And believability 1.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's a total of 5 for you. Me, I've done scarability 1. It wasn't scary. There was nothing scary about, I'm an angel and I fight monsters. No, not scary at all. Interesting 2. I'll give you that. You know, you came up with an angel all by yourself. Well, I'm assuming all by yourself because you've said nobody has ever heard of D'Artagnan. So, you know, props to you for coming up with an original character. And believability 1.
God is, in God's will,
yeah.
Like, God doesn't want me to be known, but I'm going to go behind his back and write on Reddit.
Literally.
There's one source that is going to spread to the masses, it's Reddit.
Oh my god, literally. Jesus. So I give believability 1 because, 1, like Adam's just said, it's a massive contradiction. And 2, God doesn't exist anyway. In my opinion. Yes. It doesn't exist, so that's a believability 1 straight away. So I gave it a total of 4, which gives it an overall 9 out of 30 for this one. So we're going up. It's going up. Gradually.
Yeah.
Gradually.
Hang on a minute. So why didn't this D'Italian and whatever his name is, why didn't he kill this school shooter from the first story?
No, balance, Adam. Balance.
Oh, balance, right, okay. Well, that's just a cop-out answer for anyone, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, why is cancer balance? Do you know, like, you know, like what the fuck's all that about? Like, literally, anybody could justify, like Putin could like, when he gets interviewed next time, like, why are you killing innocent people? Balance. Do you know, it's such a cop-out answer.
Well,
it's such a terrible thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but like, it's just funny.
But
Innit?
what I mean is that that could be used as like just to get out of any kind of question without
You get
answering
arrested for murder.
answering it.
Yeah, sorry, it was God's will. D'Artagnan didn't kill me,
Yeah,
so it must have
yeah.
needed to happen.
Or on like a suicide note, like you're expecting a lovely letter. It's found in the drawer in your room. You know, someone's committed suicide. You open it up and it just says balance. You know, and the parents are crying. They're now on antidepressants. But like,
And then it's just a
they're fine
vicious
now.
cycle. They do it as well, and then they just
Yeah.
write balance. Oh, fuck.
You know.
You know what though? I'll say this. I think in the first 15 minutes of this video, we've laughed more than we did in the other one. So
I mean,
that's a good thing, right?
yeah.
Shall we go into the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
The next one is called Hell by Mean Pete.
Oh, what an original name that is. Now, I wonder where we came up with that one.
Oh, Christ. Oh, okay. There was no pearly gate. The only reason I knew I was in a cave was because I had just passed the entrance. The rock wall rose behind me with no ceiling in sight. I knew this was it. This was what religion talked about, what man feared. I had just entered the gate to hell. I felt the presence of the cave as if it was a living, breathing creature. The stench of rotten flesh overwhelmed me. Then there was the voice. It came from inside and all around. "Welcome. Who are you?" I asked, trying to keep my composure. "You know," the thing answered. "I do know. You are the devil." You are the devil," I stuttered, quickly losing my composure. "Why me? I've lived as good a life as I could." The silence took over the space as my words died out. It seemed like an hour went by before the response came. "What did you expect?" The voice was penetrating but patient. "I don't know. I never believed any of this," I uttered. "Is that why I am here?" Silence. I continued. "They say the greatest trick you ever pulled was convincing the world you don't exist." "No, the greatest trick I ever pulled was convincing the world that
No,
there was an
Anakin.
alternative." "There is no God," I shivered. The cave trembled with the words. "I am God." I added the laugh for comedic effect. That's the end of that story.
That was the most pointless pile of shit I have ever heard in my life. Like, I've legit lost brain cells listening to that.
I think I'd be inclined to agree with you, to be honest.
You know,
I am
you
God.
never told me this. You never told me this website. Is this like an anti-Christian thing?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just really pushing my agenda at the moment.
oh. So
Unless
this
this is an
story is
ad.
claiming that there's no God.
Yeah. No. God is the devil. More fitting that way.
Okay.
Just
Alright.
as well, I don't know if this is an ad on the website or the website name, just in case anyone's interested, but it's called scoopwhoop.com.
By convincing people there is a God, surely that makes his job harder. Like, I don't see that. That seems like a lot of hassle.
I don't know, because it's like a trick in it. He's playing this trick on people and he gets off on it. Because, he said that no matter what you do, you end up here in hell. So it's like a trick he plays on people, like, "Ooh, look, here's this religion, God exists. You're going to go to a really nice place when you die. Joke's on you! Welcome to torture for the next eternity."
But surely, surely the devil cares about more what's going on the planet. Like, he wants to cause havoc on the planet. So why would he be convincing people that you need to be good people?
Controversial. No, here's a controversial opinion for you. He wants to create as much chaos and havoc as possible. And what's the greatest way that anyone has ever done that? Create religion. Religion has sparked the most wars on the planet.
I mean, I think
I make a good point with that.
I think the crazy people who take religion the wrong way create wars.
Yes, but religion can be seen as, like, the lead up to that. So, I mean, it's all theoretical anyway, and, bullshit, because the devil doesn't really exist. But, like, I'm just saying, if he did and he was God, then maybe that's why he created religion, because that is the chaotic force that rules the planet.
So you're saying he's also created Buddha, he also created Allah, he also...
Yeah, what's the point in creating one religion when you can create multiple and have them, like, at each other's throats constantly?
What, and you feel like for thousands of years since the last big religion was made, he's just run out of ideas?
Yeah, he's just sat there with a notebook, like, writing ideas, and it's like, oh, that's shit.
He's wrote the Bible, he wrote the Quran, and now he's run out of his free trial of Microsoft Office.
It's like, shit, I've got to wait for, what's his name, to die.
Oh, I've got to go to college and get a university email to get free Microsoft Office.
Fucking hell. Oh, Christ.
So yeah, believability 1.
Yep.
Scareability 2.
Okay.
Interesting. I'll go with 2 for interesting as well.
Yeah, fine. The same rating as me, to be honest. I went for exactly the same. 2 for scareability, 2 for interesting, and 1 for believability. Scary. I like the concept that the devil is actually God, and that's a little bit more creepy, I guess. Interesting, same reason, makes it a little bit more interesting. It's an interesting twist that I don't think I've ever actually seen before, like explored before, so cool. And believability 1 because none of this actually exists. So, again...
In your opinion.
Yeah, we've got to add that in, haven't we? I suppose. But yeah, we are steadily increasing the ratings. That was a 10 out of 30. So we've literally gone 8, 9, 10 so far. Which isn't bad.
In 28 years' time, we might have got our first 30 out of 30.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping this episode will take us over the 20 mark, because last episode we didn't get over 20. I think our highest rating was like 18
19,
or something. Yeah, 19, something like that. But yeah, that was Hell by Mean Pete. Should we go into the next one?
Okay. You don't have to keep on asking me because you're going to fucking do it anyway.
Well, yeah, only for the hour.
Okay, well, that's the end of the episode.
Well, yeah, that'd be pretty boring considering we're only like 24 minutes through. So, yeah. Okay, next story, guys. The Accident by Min Boy. I love how you just keep judging these people's like online usernames.
Min Boy.
Christ, there we go. I'm not gonna say it.
No, don't.
Yeah. Anyway, the story. It was 1 a.m. and Guy Halverson sat in his dark living room. He hadn't moved for over an hour. The accident earlier that evening kept playing over and over in his mind. The light turned red, but he was in a hurry and accelerated. An orange blare came from his right, and in a split second there was a violent jolt. Then the cyclist, rolled across his hood and fell out of sight on the pavement. Horns blared angrily, and he panicked, stepping on the gas and screeching away from the chaos into the darkness, shaken and keeping an eye on his rearview mirror until he got home. Why did you run, you idiot? He'd never committed a crime before, and punished himself by imagining years in jail, his career gone, his family gone, his future gone. Why not just go to the police right now? You can afford a lawyer. Then, someone tapped on the front door, and his world suddenly crumbled away beneath him. They found me. There was nothing he could do but answer it. Running would only make matters worse. His body trembling, he got up, went to the door, and opened it. A police officer stood under the porch light. "Mr. Halverson?" asked the grim officer. He let out a defeated sigh. "Yes. Let me... I'm terribly sorry, but I'm afraid I have some bad news." "Oh shit." "Your son's bike was struck by a hit-and-run driver this evening. He died at the scene. I'm very sorry for your loss." And that is the end of that story.
Oh!
That was good. That was a nice little trick. Like I was just reading it, and like your brain reads ahead a little bit, and I saw that, and that's why I paused for a little bit. Like I was like, "Oh shit!" Like damn.
Okay.
I like that twist. That is good. That is good.
So he went past the red light.
Yeah. He was in a hurry to get home, presumably.
Yeah.
Sped through the red light and clipped his son. And then shot himself and drove off, not realising it was his son.
Okay.
I did quite like that one. It was the first one that was sort of grounded in a way for me. Like, compared to the other ones, at least, it felt very grounded. And a lot more believable, I would say. Yeah. I did enjoy that one, to be honest.
I'm gonna give it a rating.
Yeah, go ahead.
It wasn't that scary.
No.
I'll give it a 1 for scareability.
Okay.
Which is a shame because I feel like that is going to cause it. It's going to be it is going to be the reason why it doesn't get over a 20.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
I'm going to go with a 3.
Okay. Cool.
And believability, for me, I'm struggling between 4 and 5.
All right.
Because
Okay.
there's nothing in there that is not believable.
Oh no.
You can guarantee at some point in history this will have happened before.
Yeah, 100%.
My only thing is that surely you would have an idea it was your son. Like, surely you'd kind of
Yeah, I
catch a
feel
glimpse of the face.
like you see orange as well. Like, surely you know what your kid's wearing, that sort of thing. Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, if I don't give a 5 to this, what am I going to give a 5 to?
Yeah.
Because it
No,
doesn't
fair
have
point.
ghosts involved. It doesn't. So I'm going to go with a 5.
No, fair enough. That's a solid rating. That, to be fair, that's a total of 9 for you. For me, I gave Scareability a 2, so a little bit more than yours, purely because it wasn't scary in like the horror sense. For me, I can look at it and say it's scary because it could be true, like that could have happened in real life, and that's the scary thing for me, the human aspect, that this could have genuinely happened. Interesting. I agreed with you. I've gone for a 3. It's an interesting story. Like I said, it felt quite grounded, and I enjoyed it. But believability, I've given it a 3. Not, compared to your 5. And that is purely because if you've just killed your son, technically manslaughter, I guess. I don't feel like you would go on Reddit or on a random website to say that you've killed your son. I don't feel like you did it on an online
taking that
forum.
into consideration. If we're taking that into consideration, then I'd agree with a 3. But if I'm basing it on the story alone,
Yeah.
which I feel like you have to,
Right.
or I have to, I'll stick with my 5.
Fair enough. But for that gives me a total of 8, and that gives this an overall of 17. So a massive improvement from the other ones for sure. And we are getting better. Hopefully, we should be getting into the 20s if some of the next stories are decent anyway. Which they're hit and miss, so could go either way, really, couldn't it? But yeah, no, I did enjoy that one, to be fair. Any final comments before we move on?
No.
No. Alrighty then. Should we go on to the next one? I'm gonna ask you every time, so
Oh yes, please. I would love to.
Oh yes, please, Daddy. Okay. This one is called "Next Time You'll Know Better" by I Post at Midnight. And there's a little cheeky advert below it of an anime girl saying, "What? How is it this big?" Completely unrelated to the story, but I thought I'd throw that in there because cheeky advert.
Okay, I'm
Anyway.
interested.
Anyway, next time you'll know better. Have you ever walked into a room and found a vampire? No, not the sexy kind, but a foul creature.
I don't think I am.
No,
Have you,
that's
Tommy?
No, definitely not. Shame, really. I'd love to be a vampire. Living at night seems like it'd suit us.
Not the sexy kind, did it say?
Yeah, no, not the sexy kind, but a foul creature with bony limbs and ashen skin. The kind that snarls as you enter, like a beast about to pounce. The kind that roots you to the spot with its sunken, hypnotic eyes, rendering you unable to flee as you watch the hideous thing uncoil from the shadows. Has your heart started racing, though your legs refuse to move? Have you felt time slow as the creature crosses the room in the darkness of a blink? Have you shuddered with fear when it places one clawed hand atop your head and another under your chin so it can tilt you, exposing your neck? Have you squirmed as its rough, dry tongue slides down your cheek, over your jaw to your throat? God, I have a dirty mind. In a slithering search that's seeking your artery. Have you felt its hot breath release in a hiss against your skin when it probes your pulse? The flow that leads to your brain, has its tongue rested there, throbbing slightly as if savouring the moment? Have you then experienced a sinking, sucking blackness as you discover that not all vampires feed on blood? Some feed on memories. Well, have you? Maybe not. But let me rephrase the question. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you came in? That's the end of the story, by the way. Wasn't just a pause for dramatic effect.
No, I almost fell asleep.
No,
here's the thing, right? I want to give some appreciation to the literature.
Yeah, no, it was well written.
Clearly has tried incredibly hard.
Yeah.
But for a short story, there is no story. Maybe if this was part of a novel, yeah, okay. Do you know what I mean? Like if this was in yeah, okay, fair enough. If it was sandwiched between 200 pages,
right.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
But as a short story, there was too much going on.
No, that's
too much
fair.
Description.
Yeah.
And I kind of lost it.
Right.
I kind of lost what was going on. And I think the idea that he was going at could have been done a lot in a lot more of a condensed fashion.
Yeah. No, I understand
because
that.
by the time he comes up with that interesting idea at the end of this is, why you forget where you walk into a room.
Hmm.
I'd already given up at that point, so it didn't really pay off.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. See, for me, it was the other way. I appreciated that, and I appreciated how much detail he went into with the idea, because it kind of painted a picture for me. And I think by describing what this vampire looks like and the way like it was behaving and everything increases the scareability for me. Not obviously it's not massively scary, but I think I appreciate the description. I think that adds to the scareability for me. No, it helps build a picture, which I feel like some of these stories don't really do. I don't know. Again, they are on the short stories, so it's hard to paint like a massive picture or whatever in a paragraph or two. But yeah, I'm the flip side of you, really. I appreciated that more than anything, to be honest. I mean, it was quite, I don't know, yeah. I don't know, I liked it.
Scareability, I'll give it 2.
Okay.
Interesting, I'll give a 2.
Yeah,
Believability, I'll give a 1 because I don't believe they exist.
no, that's fair enough. It's pretty, it's a pretty basic score, but it's not too bad, I guess. For me, I gave Scareability a 3. Because again, I appreciated the description and everything, and I think it lent into that. Interesting, free. I liked the whole premise, and I liked the idea at the end. How it lends into that. If you've gone into a room and forgotten what you've gone in there for, maybe you have actually encountered one of these vampires that sucks memories rather than blood. So yeah, I appreciate that, and obviously believability a 1 because yeah. Vampires don't exist. So you gave it a total of 5, I gave it a total of 7, so that brings it to a 12 out of 30, which isn't our lowest ranking story in this episode, not by far, but it's also not the highest. So yeah, but at least it got over a 10, in my opinion. I think that's quite solid, at least for us anyway, because we seem to love poorly rating these stories. But yeah, shall we get into the next one? I'm going to take that as a yes. This is called Hands, and this is also by Minboy. So I think this is our second story by him today.
Minboy, which one did he write?
He wrote The Accident, which we found interesting.
Okay.
I think that's our highest rated one, to be fair. So, yeah. Are you ready?
Yes, Minboy.
Hands. The doctor pulled the stethoscope ear tips out and hung the device around his neck. Mr. Weatherby, all of our tests have come back negative, and my examination shows nothing abnormal. Adam knew what was coming next. I'm not crazy, Doctor. I'm sorry, but there is no physical reason for why you occasionally lose control of your hands. A psychologist can help. I don't need therapy, I need answers. They seem to have a life all... Oh, Christ, grammatical errors. They seem to have a life of their own. I can't hold a job. I'm under investigation for assault. I almost killed my neighbour. This can't go on. I'll try anything at this point. After 2 weeks on the new medication, Adam saw no progress and grew increasingly depressed. He was convinced that despite what the doctors said, it was not a psychological problem. That night, a frustrated and angry Adam sat in a chair and drank bourbon. Drunk and hopeless, he stumbled to the garage and started the table saw, then slowly lowered his wrist towards the screaming blade. Detective Armstrong entered the garage, where several uniformed officers stood over the blood-soaked body. "So what do we got?" he asked, taking in the blood-splattered scene. "This is a weird one, Detective." "How so?" Take a look at the body. He apparently chopped off his hands with a table saw and bled to death. Armstrong knelt down. And we can't find his hands anywhere. Yeah, that was the end of the story. Not gonna lie, compared to his first story, I didn't like that. I wasn't a massive fan of that, to be honest.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah. Sorry, Min Boy, but it just wasn't there for me. Your first story was quite good, but that just, I don't know. There was nothing realistic about that. And yeah, I don't know what to say really. I was a bit disappointed.
2 for all of them, apart from believability. 2 for all actually.
2 for all.
Yeah.
You're giving believability a 2 as well.
Yeah, because I fell asleep, so I missed half of it.
Well, no, his hands are, have a life of their own.
Well, at 3 o'clock in the morning when I've seen a good-looking girl, my hands are also have a life of their own.
Okay, now. Christ on a bike.
I'll give it a 1.
Right.
Then, if you insist. I hope you understand. I hope your audience now you coerced me into giving it a voting.
Yeah, of course. So that gives you a total of 5. I went for scareability 1 because it wasn't scary; it was boring. Interesting 2. It had a bit of a premise there, but it really wasn't that good. Believability 1, giving it a total of 4 for me. So that is an overall total of 9 out of 30. We seem to be going back down. This isn't looking good. It's not looking good at all.
And I'm sorry, but officially that is the first one that I genuinely believe I've fallen asleep a little bit to. Like, legit, I rested my head down, thinking I'll just listen, and I did fall asleep for a split second.
Well, that's not good. That's really not good.
So, Min,
what's his name? Min Boy, sort your shit, man.
Min Boy.
We're not impressed at all with that one. I think we've got time for 2 more stories, which works out about the same as last time. 8 stories in total.
Yes.
So,
and Tommy.
Yep.
Can I hear the next one?
Aw, you took it away from me. Now I can't ask you.
Yeah.
Twat. Okay. He stood against my window by Sabatuk? I don't know. Sabatuk. He stood against my window. Let's get into it. I don't know why I looked up, but when I did, I saw him there. He stood against my window. His forehead rested against the glass, and his eyes were still and light, and he smiled a lipstick-red, cartoonish grin, and he just stood there in the window. My wife was upstairs, sleeping. My son was in his crib, and I couldn't move. I froze and watched him looking past me through the glass. Oh, please no. His smile never moved, but he put a hand up and slid it down the glass, watching me. With matted hair and yellow skin and face through the window, I couldn't do anything. I just stayed there, frozen, feet still in the bushes I was pruning, looking into my home. He stood against my window. That was a really short one, to be honest. It was really short.
So it's just a guy looking for the window, is it?
So, from what I can gather, the main character's in his garden, doing a bit of garden work, and then he's looked up and this guy is, yeah.
Oh, the guy's in his house.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that though, because I like how at the start it makes you think that this guy's maybe sat in his living room or something, just chilling, and then he looks up and sees this guy's window. But I like the fact that he's outside and the guy's in his house. That's a nice little twist, to be honest. They did keep it short and simple. He didn't, overdo it or anything.
Bore us to death.
Yeah.
Scareability, I'll give. Do you know what? I'll give it a 3 because I don't like people looking through windows. That does scare me. It's happened to me on a few occasions.
It's fucking awful,
like
isn't it? Like,
I remember. Anyway, it's a story for another time. Um, but yeah. So I'll go 3 for scareability.
Yep.
Interesting. I was intrigued as to what was going to happen, so I'll go 3.
Yep.
And believability. Ah, do you know what's scary, right? What's scary is the amount of people who leave their front doors open.
Yeah,
So
no,
they're
that.
going to be in the back garden, and some people leave the front doors open, right?
Mm,
So
hate it.
if I'm looking past like yellow skin and all shit like that,
Mm.
a stranger being in your house whilst you're in the back garden is a reasonable thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that would make it like a 4 or whatever. The fact that you had yellow skin and but I'm going to go 3 for believability. That could happen.
No,
So
fair.
I've gone. What have I gone? 333. Have I?
Yep. Triple three. Gives you a total of 9. I've actually gone for the same, to be honest. Because, again, yeah. Believability, it is something that genuinely could happen, and it is, again, with scareability, it's something that could happen, and it's something that's very fucking scary, like home intruders are up there. And we've spoke about this before, like how if you're home alone and say, not to say women are vulnerable, but as a guy, you feel protective over, say, your mother or your partner if you're home alone with them. And I think we get it into our heads, don't we? Like, what if this happened? What if somebody intruded? Like, what would I need to do? How would I protect the people I love? So yeah, for me, that is a very scary possibility. And
I've
yeah.
I've got a story. I think I might have told you this before. It's only a quick one. You
Mm.
can give this one a rating, an unofficial rating.
Ooh, an unofficial. What are you calling it first? Give me a quick name.
Um, I'm calling it the true story of a girl that went to our school.
Right, that's a bit shit, but sure.
The girl, I'm just going to call her Lucy.
Right.
So, Lucy was probably, I'd say, maybe year 9. I don't know
In
how old that
comparison to
is.
what? Were we in year 9 at the
What?
time, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so about 13, 14,
Well,
yeah?
but yeah, about 13, 14.
Right.
And her parents asked her if she wants to go out to, I think it was Dolby Forest, something along those lines. And she said no, she ain't bothered.
Mm.
They're going to say, so they said, oh, right, well, we're going to go out, we're going to take the dog. She was like, yeah, nah, I'm not going to, I can't go over to go out.
Yeah.
Um, so they go out, and all she does is she start watching like Netflix and YouTube and all that stuff and
Mm.
whatever. And then on her messenger, a girl who lives in the same city as her says, "Oh, do you want to hang out?"
Right.
And she goes, "Oh, right, yeah." And a couple of the girls say, "Oh, yeah, we'll hang out." So she goes into the shower and she's showering, and she hears her parents coming back, and she just so she's minding her own business in the shower, shampoo, conditioner, scrub, and she gets out the shower and puts her clothes or whatever, dressing gown back on, opens the door,
Mm.
and her parents aren't there, and the dog isn't there, even
Right.
though she could have sworn that she had the dog moving around and stuff.
Yeah.
And this was she was like, oh well, they could be back, right?
Mm.
And they might be downstairs anyway. And as she walks out, she is like silent, and then she goes to the top of the stairs and she sees that the front door's open.
Mm.
So she walks down there, and there's loads of cupboards open. There's loads of like the wardrobe downstairs has been open. Loads of stuff. Um, all the laptops have gone. The TV has gone. she got robbed while she was in the shower,
That's
and she assumed it was her parents.
fair enough.
She assumed that her parents were back because she was hearing knocking.
Yeah.
And this goes back to my previous point of people not locking the door.
Yeah,
Her
that's
parents
pretty
didn't lock
fucking
the door,
stupid.
and that is a genuine true story.
Is it the
Fucking
proof
weird.
of this, or did she just tell you it was?
Yes. No, there is proof of it. Because she had cameras at the front of our house.
Right. Have you seen the footage though?
Yes.
And I need facts here.
No. Why are you asking about the facts? Are you not fact checking any of these stories, right?
No, because these are just shit ones on the thing. You're like, this is real. And, like, really driving the factor that I should probably give believability of 5 because you're telling me it's real.
Well, yeah, that's for you to decide, an unofficial rating, even if you don't want to give it any rating or whatever. I just wanted to... It was on my mind, and I thought it's a bit of a spooky fucking thing, because it's always kind of a little bit of a thing. When you're in the shower, you're isolated, you're in a vulnerable place... You're not really, things can be going on in the background, but you don't really hear it because you're in the shower.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a bit spooky.
I'll give it an 8 out of 15. Scareability 3 goes back to the home intruders thing from earlier. Interesting 2 because it's just she got robbed. Not really interesting. Plus, if I probably know her, I probably don't like her. And believability 3 because yes, you're telling me it happened, but I've seen no actual proof, and I know what a lot of people that we went to school with are like, and they do a lot of things for attention. So based on that, I'm going to give that a 3. So
But
8 out of 15.
I'll tell you who it is.
We're not on
After.
not on video. Yeah,
No.
I was going to say.
But it was not who you would assume it would be.
Right.
It's not one of the popular girls. Oh, I got robbed. Please, can you love me? One of them. It was actually a girl that doesn't particularly like attention that much.
Right. Well, fair
Or
enough.
at all.
Fair enough. I look forward to hearing who it is. But we do have about 7.5 minutes left, just enough time for a quick final story and some quick final thoughts, and a quick outro. So we're just going to jump straight into this one. Fallers by Dastard82. That is Dastard with a D, not Bastard. Okay. People started falling from the sky by the close of the decade. They were never clothed, always naked, always a petrifying grin on their faces. It had been just a few at first, but then hundreds and thousands would fall at a time, destroying cars, homes, blocking off highways. Strange discoveries were made upon research. They were human, but lacked any blood, intestines, even a heart. No one could explain the hideous grins they had, or even where they came from. It was a woman in Costa Rica who made the latest and most disturbing discovery. She recognized one of the fallen bodies as a long-dead relative, one who died back when she had been a teenager. Then, more and more identifications were made. Soon, people were picking out their long-dead loved ones amongst the video feeds. Cadaver piles and crematoriums. No one could explain why they were coming back, falling from the sky. Even more distressing, after disposing of the bodies, it wouldn't be long until that same body came plummeting from the sky again. You could not get rid of them, no matter what. People were getting killed by the higher volume of falling bodies, and soon after burial, they too began to fall. My mother was killed when a body landed on her car, crushing her. The next week, the news reported on a body that had gotten lodged in an airplane windshield. I saw my mother's grinning face, the happiest I had ever seen her. They say when hell is full, the dead shall walk the earth. What about heaven? That's the end, by the way.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
It's not very believable, though, is it, mate?
No, mate. It's not, mate. No. I'm going to start whilst you're thinking. Scareability, I'm going to give it a 2. It wasn't that scary. I think the most scariest thing was probably, the grin on the people's faces. Don't get me wrong, if it genuinely happened, like, everybody would be shitting themselves. But it's never going to happen, is it? Interesting 3, like Adam said. It's a good concept. I like the concept. If you made it a bit longer and made it into an actual short story, like 100-page short story or something, could be good. And believability 1, that'd never happen. So it's a total of 6 for me. Adam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd agree.
What with those exact 2, 3, and 1?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. That's not bad. Same reasons or?
My reason is because I'm not interested in the story, so I can't be bothered to form an opinion.
Right. No, that's fine.
No, I like the concept, and again, I think it like kind of what you said. If it was a short story, I think it'd be quite interesting. I mean, as kind of like a short story in the sense of it being like 50 pages long. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of short story. Not literally 20 lines or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. So yeah, that gives this a total of 12 out of 30. And that makes our highest rating one in this episode, He Stood Against My Window, which was arguably the better one out of them all. Well, clearly, that's how we rated it. But yeah.
What did that get?
18.
18. What did the... oh, yeah.
Again, we ain't got over 20. There's still a lot more stories, so I might have to do a part 3 to this in a couple of weeks, guys, when it's my turn again for another one of these episodes. I really want to get one of these stories over a 20. I really do. It's just lacking at the moment. But, by the by, we are coming to the end of the episode, guys. As I said, we may do a part 3 in a couple of weeks. It's just dependent on what happens, really. Next week will be another conspiracy episode by Adam, the Conspiracy Chronicles Part 2. I have no idea what Adam's working on for that at the moment, what stories he's looking at, but Part 1 last week was very interesting, and I, for one, can't wait for next week, It's great. I don't know about you, but I love the episodes where it's my turn, but I look forward to the ones where it's your turn, because I get to just sit back and take it all in and hear some genuinely good stories. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as much as you guys probably are. And yeah, any final thoughts from yourself?
No, not really. No, it's just good episode, and we will break the 20. I've got a good feeling about the next one.
Yeah. I might even convince Adam to film the next Terrible Tales Part 3 after this one. We shall see. That is a discussion for after the video.
I've got a feeling future Adam is going to say, "Fuck no."
Well, we'll see. I'll sweeten the deal from. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Brainless Believers. I hope you've enjoyed it. We are certainly enjoying making these videos, and we're certainly enjoying, pumping them out more often for you guys. I am currently working on a schedule, and as part of that schedule is Brainless Believers, and if we stick to it, it's hopefully going to be going up on the channel 7 PM every Saturday, new episode. So you've got something to look forward to. And like I say, we're improving constantly with the stories and everything, and the way we film these. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, we've got a minute left of recording time. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. And we will see all you guys in the next Brainless Believers. Bye-bye!